What shall I cut it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I cut it, dear Liza? With what?
Dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry, with an axe, dear Henry, cut it with an axe.
The axe is too dull, dear Liza. The axe is too dull, dear Liza, too dull.
Well, sharpen it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Well, sharpen it, dear Henry, sharpen it.
With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? With what?
With a stone, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a stone, dear Henry, with a stone.
The stone is too dry, dear Liza, dear Liza. The stone is too dry, dear Liza, too dry.
Well, wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Well, wet it, dear Henry, wet it.
With what shall I wet it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? With what?
With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With water, dear Henry, with water.
How shall I get the water, dear Liza, dear Liza? How shall I get the water, dear Liza? How do I get it? The water.
In a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. In the bucket, dear Henry, in the bucket.
There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole.
Well, fix it, dear Henry. Well, fix it, dear Henry. Dear Henry, well, fix it.
With what shall I fix it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fix it, dear Liza? With what?
Stick your finger in the hole. Stick your finger in the hole, dear Henry. Stick your finger in it.
My finger is too skinny, dear Liza, dear Liza. My finger is too skinny, dear Liza, too skinny.
Wrap some tape around it, Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Wrap some tape around it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Use tape.
Okay.